Van life is not always that glamorous. Chances are, if you're watching this video, van life has sparked your interest, or you're just curious on how we live our van life, or how we afforded it.
Welcome back to Faris and Lisa. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hi, we're Faris and Lisa. We love to travel internationally, but this year, we're changing a few things.
I just bought it.
We quit our jobs and bought a van. Follow us along as we road trip North America. These are the top 5 ways to afford van life. Number 1, plan your savings.
So here's some questions to ask yourself. How much money do you need to save up? What's your 5-year goal? And will your savings take you there?
Faris and I graduated 5 years ago, and we made it our goal to travel internationally full-time by age 27 because we wanted to settle down. We did a ton of research, and we found that it would cost $20,000 per person a year to travel internationally full-time.
We had corporate jobs for 5 years, and instead of spending money, we prioritized saving.
After graduation, I moved in back with my parents for 3 years before moving in with Faris, and then I invested 22% into my 401k with a company match of 7%.
So in 2017, I started my own freelance photography and videography LLC. I've been doing that on the weekends while I was working my job, and whenever I had free time to make that extra cash. In 2016, I purchased my first home, and after a few renovations and having roommates, it turned out to be a great investment, and I sold it in 2020.
And after Faris sold his house, we moved in with my parents for 10 months, which was super fun and saved a ton of money. Faris and I turned 27 in the year of 2020, which was obviously different times, so we had to transition from international travel to looking into vans. And what we found was that van travel is actually cheaper than international travel at $17,000 per person.
After 5 years of working corporate, freelance on the side, investing our money, we saved up about 5 years worth of travel. That doesn't include our 401k and no planned income, but that leads us into our next point.
Number 2, plan your income. So there's plenty of options you can do for working in a van. You can work corporate remotely, you can do freelance work, or you can be YouTubers like us.
We quit our jobs in April of 2021 to start our own travel business.
We made a business plan for our travel business, but obviously it was a big risk for us because it depends on exposure from people like you.
Like any startup business, profit is hard to come by in the first year, but because of you guys, we made our first $100 on YouTube this month.
We only felt comfortable with this transition because of the research we've done and our savings. Number 3, understanding your financial options.
When buying a van, you have a few financial options. Paying in cash or financing.
If you're looking to pay in cash, that's great, but for most people, financing with a low interest rate is a better option.
Building out your own van may be cheaper overall, but a personal vehicle loan is usually not as good as an RV loan. A PV loan is usually 6 to 8 years, when an RV loan is about 20 years.
If you buy a van from an RV dealer or a builder, it's considered an RV, which qualifies you for an RV loan. We took out a 20-year RV loan at an interest rate of 3.5%, so we could invest our savings into real estate and stocks that yield higher returns.
Investing can be easy and as simple as investing in the S&P 500, which usually gives a return of 8% year over year. Or a mutual fund. I love to use Schwab. It's an easy online account, simple to use.
Number 4, buying the right van in your budget.
There are 4 different options when finding and buying the van in your budget. The first one being building out the van yourself. The second is buying a used van that's already built out. The third is going with a private builder for your own specifications. And the fourth is going with an RV dealer that works with the large retailers.
The scope of vans is huge. Whether you have a small budget or a big budget, there's a van out there for you. It all just depends on how much you're willing to spend and the amenities you're looking for.
So we went with the 2021 Winnebago Revel because it fit into our budget, had everything that we wanted and more, and we love the financing options that it came with.
Number 5, set a monthly budget.
It's important to understand all the costs that go into van life. Diesel, van maintenance, camping, and of course, food.
It's important to keep track of your expenses because you can easily overspend, but if you do track it, you can save a ton of money. Diesel and fuel tend to be our largest expenses. Diesel in a regular month will spend around $425, but it can get out of hand if we're traveling really quickly or we have a mission and we have to be somewhere. We've seen at least like $650 in one of our months when we're trying to get home. Food, on the other hand, again, is kind of like $425, but if we do go out to eat, that can go up really, really high, so we try and make our meals.
We track our expenses daily to make sure we're staying on budget.
Now our living expenses are 55% of what they used to be.
So that's 5 ways of how we afforded van life.
We hope our experiences shed some light on this process. It's all about the planning and saving.
And if you're new here, subscribe, and if you liked the video, hit that like button. As always, we love you guys. Out.